Okay, so we'll try that optimization movie again. Here's the movie that we made. It'll be a little bit like director's comments on your DVD. We're starting off with a CMYK TIFF image, big gigantic one, more than 600 pixels wide, almost around a little over 400 pixels high, almost a full screen in earlier times. And it's CMYK, and it's a TIFF, so we'll have to change some things here first. Here in a minute the video is going to go up to image and get mode and change it to RGB, and then under that same image menu we'll get image size, and we'll change the size from 600 and some down to 200. Here we go. Mousing around looking at the color, seeing how the resolution is, but we don't really need that much resolution for the web, and we definitely don't want it to be CMYK. It's not going to show up. It needs to be RGB. So here it is, mode, RGB, and that's under the image menu. Just like that, we've changed it to RGB, and there up top you can see it, and it's 8-bit. And we'll also change the image size from 600 and some down to 200 wide. Right now, notice the file size, 930K, almost a megabyte. It's a pretty good size image. And yeah, it's got good detail, but we'll take it down to 200 wide at 72 pixels per inch, which is just fine for the web. And you can see it goes from 900 and some K down to 90. Big improvement already without even going through any more optimization than that. But we can do better. We can do better than that 900K for an image that's 200 pixels wide by 155 high. We can do better. And let's find out how that works. Checking out all the dimensions here. And yeah, 90K, a fraction of that 930. All right. Let's go ahead and click OK on this sometime soon. There it is. Alright, now we're going to size it down. You'll see it get much smaller on the screen. And that's about what size it'll appear on your website. So if you're looking for an image that's about like so, kind of a nice illustration to go along with some text, this is it. It's RGB. I think pretty quick here in the movie we're going to save this out. Yeah, File, Save As, and we're changing the name because the old image had CMYK in the name, which is kind of stupid now. So we're going to, speaking of not too bright, let's spell RGB properly. There I go. Okay, so astronaut.rgb.tiff, we'll save that out on the desktop because it can't be a TIFF and go out on the web. So we'll just save it. We've got the smaller image. We can work with that. And now we'll go up to File, and yeah, here I'm talking about it can't be a TIFF. It's got to be some other format. We'll go up to File and get Save for Web and Devices. Here it comes, Save for Web and Devices. The devices refer to different kinds of things like cell phones. You know, if you want to save so it'll display on a particular brand of phone, you can do that here. For now, we're just going to save it for the web. And there it is. We can see our original. We can see the optimized image. Now check it out, the optimized image is 11K down here. 11K, we can see original and optimized side by side, or we can see other quality options. You've got 30 quality, 35, 7, and you can adjust the quality up here with this little slider if you want to adjust that by hand, so to speak. And as you adjust the quality, you'll see the file size. There it is, 11.74K. Big improvement over the 90K that we started out with, which was a huge improvement over the 900 and some K. Then you've got to decide, is this file size working compared to the quality of the image? And you'll notice this one in the upper right, the quality doesn't differ much from the original. There's a little bit of degradation, but not much really. I think we could live with that for the savings that we get in the file size. But as we go down in quality, like the one right below it, to 7 quality, and we're getting down to 8K, but we're getting some image degradation here at 7 quality in the clouds and in the difference between the astronaut suit and the sky. We're getting some weird mottled effect and halo effect, but it's much nicer up in the one with 32 quality. We get a much more believable image. It's not screaming at us that it's a pixelized web image. It's JPEG. GIF would be, you can see the different formats you can choose and save for web and devices. GIF would be for hard-edged images, solid color images like solid color text, maybe a solid color logo. PNG is a slightly newer format that's come into much more acceptance in browsers lately, and PNG 24 has some great transparency features that you can use with it. But for a straight photo, JPEG is still a good format to use. And so we'll save about now. We'll choose that optimized one, and it asks us where we want to save it. And since I'm dealing with a managed site, it goes right to my site root folder. I can put it in my images folder. Now, Photoshop will save an HTML page if you want. It'll create an HTML page with this image on it, but we want images only this time. The HTML that Photoshop saves is a little more specific than what we get from Dreamweaver. It's harder to change sometimes. So this time we'll save images only. It's going into an existing Dreamweaver page. It's going in my images folder, and there's our save. And let's see, it'll ask us if we want to save this TIFF when we close it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and save that. And I can open my image that I just saved, that optimized JPEG. It'll ask me if I want to use the embedded color profile, which is sRGB. Yes, I do. That's the perfect profile for the web. The Adobe RGB 1998 is perfect for print. It maintains a lot higher quality for print. sRGB, people in print call it, pardon me, shitty RGB, pardon the language, but it doesn't save as good of quality as you need for print, but for web and for displaying on current monitors, it's perfect. And it will conserve your file size, which is a big issue in the web, even in these days of broadband. So there we have it. That's the image, and we've gone through and cut down on image size from the 600 and some pixels down to 200. That brought us down to 90K. At that point, we went and did save for web and devices. Let's see, we also, of course, put it in RGB mode, so it would be useful. And it's in our image folder now. In the folder it lists it as 20K. You probably noticed on the Photoshop screen it's still listed 90K. But really, let's take a look in Dreamweaver and let's place it in there. We'll place it into a box that we've got on the Dreamweaver page ready-made for it. And we'll navigate to that image, choose it. It should have asked us to put an alt tag. We would put an alt tag of astronaut in there, I'm sure. And there's the size. That box is 155 high. Here in the Properties Inspector you can see that size of 17K. That's what we were expecting. Much nicer than 90K, way nicer than that 900K. And if you put a large 900K image in here and you resize it, it would still take that long to load. So reminder, RGB mode, we changed the size down to 200 so it will fit in the exact size that we want on our Dreamweaver page. The best practice is to make it that same size and definitely keep the proportions. Hold those proportions, don't squish or stretch it. Then we went into Save for Web and Devices. We chose what format we wanted. Since it's a photo, we did JPEG. Chose our quality and saved it. Remember to save images only. And that was about it. So that's our demo of optimizing images. Thanks for coming along.